Welcome to Money Matters. I'm David Kroll from Mortgage Network, and this is Emily Johnson from Polaris Capital. The first segment today is going to be Emily describing what she actually does, what Polaris Capital is, and what she does, and what her role is, and what services she provides to clients. So I'm going to...
and then David is going to do the same in the second half of the show, describe what he does and his value to clients as well. So, and yes.
Super. Okay.
So stick with us. We'll be right back.
Stick with us.
Welcome back. I'm Emily Johnson, founder of Polaris Capital Advisors. So today I want to discuss a little bit about what Polaris Capital Advisors does. And I'd like to think that we're actually different things to different people. In general, we're of course financial advisors. We're financial planners, financial consultants, investment advisors. But when it comes to each of our individual clients, we're actually different things to different people. Some people walk in the door just wanting us to look at their 401k and are they making the right decisions when it comes to the mutual funds that they're choosing. Other people walk in the door and they literally say, help me control my financial life. Help me put this whole thing together. I know that it's not together, and let's look at it soup to nuts. So we help clients the entire spectrum of financial needs, basically. I like to think, too, that we're slightly different than other financial firms. Number one, we're independent, which means that we're not married to any particular product, service, custodian, fund, family, whatever it is that you hear. We're also fiduciaries, so that's something that you hear a lot as well. I'm a CFP, Certified Financial Planner. I know I'm going too fast. And so we, therefore, are fiduciaries for our clients, meaning it is our ethical responsibility to put our clients' needs first. So and I'm very proud of that fact, and I'm proud of the fact that we're independent. So I feel like in the financial services industry, you get your statement, and that's kind of where your relationship with your financial advisor stops. I like to think that at our firm, that's where it starts. Statements are made to be confusing. You get, in fact, I think they become more and more confusing over time, whether it's because of regulations, marketing, whatever it is. Your statements don't tell your financial story, just like your car doesn't tell the story of your life. So I like to think, and I try to ask my clients, to give me a call whenever they have questions about anything so that we can discuss whatever questions they might have, whether it's, hey, we need to sit down to discuss what the heck does my statement say? Or, you know, I want to leave funds to my grandchildren. How do we go about doing that? So I try to be much more open when it comes to what my clients' needs are when it comes to financial planning, as opposed to a one-size-fits-all, hey, come in the door, we have this set of mutual funds, thank you so much, shake my hand and we'll get together twice a year and we charge you X, Y, and Z. I'd like to think that we're a little bit more hands-on and open in what our services are to our clients. So I'm trying to think of some specific case studies. So as an example, we might have a client that does walk in the door that says, I'd like you to manage our portfolio of investments. I take a look at the portfolio, we put together recommendations, the clients agree to the recommendations, we implement them, and then we get together with clients on a regular basis to review what those investments are. That's the straight down the middle. That's what everybody's used to when it comes to financial advisory. We also, though, will work with people that are what we call in transition, which is basically, it could be going through a divorce. It could be that there's a death of a spouse. It could be that they're about to retire. It could be that they're moving. Any of those things qualify as transition. And in any transition, people are anxious. So when people are anxious, they don't necessarily need to make big decisions. So when people walk in our office that are going through those transitions, it is possible, and this is one of the reasons that I like the fact that we're independent relative to not being independent, because when those clients come in, sometimes I'll say to them, you know what, don't move your assets to XYZ custodian, don't make these changes. Let's actually just sit down and discuss your situation, and let me help you in whatever stages you need to be assisted. It might be that that's putting together a financial plan and figuring out which accounts they need to take cash from to pay their bills. It might be that we need to transition titles of accounts or something along those lines from a deceased spouse or from a divorce or something. That stuff takes time. And it's really confusing for people because they're getting all kinds of stuff in the mail. They probably didn't understand some of it beforehand. Now it's in transition, and there's just so many moving parts. So to take some of that burden away or to take some of that stress away, we do work with people in a staged process as well, whether we work on retainer or we can be paid hourly. Sometimes it's by the plan, but we don't necessarily have to make wholesale changes to people's plans immediately upon beginning to work with us. And that's something that I like to stress because I think that fear of needing to make big changes paralyzes people. So to try to take away that fear, we try to be open in the many ways that we can work with people as opposed to a one-size-fits-all scenario. I think that makes us a little bit different. Trying to think of some of the history of the firm. So actually, I went to the University of Texas, Hookham, and then went to business school at the University of South Carolina and actually became an investment banker right out of school. And probably was not very good at it, but I learned a whole lot. And the reason that I didn't necessarily love investment banking is it's a transactional business. Big money, big personalities, big deals, learned a ton, high finance, very interesting. But it was also very transactional. You go through one process, it changes, and you move on to the next one. I really liked the relationships. So I was given an opportunity from a few people that I knew from the investment banking world to come work with them in the private banking world, as they call it. And private banking is basically the same thing as financial advisory, financial planning. They're all kind of the same thing. So I was given an opportunity to transition over to work with them in the private banking world in Washington, D.C., and just absolutely fell in love with it. So that's sort of the history of how I got into the business and why I love it. And I wish I had actually done that self-assessment when I was in business school and saved myself a lot of time and energy, because I feel like I fell into the job that I really love and absolutely love being able to sit down with my clients and understand them as humans, not just the finance, because the finance is relatively easy. You can go to school for that. But the people are the challenging part and the most rewarding part, and those relationships are really valued. So then moved down to Hilton Head, South Carolina. This is where my whole family is, and so started Polaris and pretty proud of it. So that's pretty much the history. Those are our services. If there's anything else that you would like to ask me, please give me a call. I appreciate your questions, comments, concerns, and I look forward to meeting with you. Have a good day.
How do they reach you?
Oh, you can give us a call at the office, 843-686-2425. Shoot me an email at Emily@Polaris Capital Advisors, or just stop by. Our office is at 23B Shelter Cove Lane, Hilton Head, South Carolina. Please stick with us. We'll be right back after this commercial with David Kroll of Mortgage Network describing his services and values to his clients.